What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. So I talked about this topic yesterday in live stream format in one of my live stream videos. And so I wanted to talk about it in regular video format because something that I noticed is that my regular videos reach the masses much better than my live streams. And so I really wanted to have a discussion about this because I found it quite interesting. So for those who don't know, well, I saw a clip the other day of Tyler Perry. And Tyler Perry was talking to Kirk Franklin, Derek Hayes, and Jeezy, right? Kirk Franklin has, I think, a podcast called Den of Kings. Or maybe that was just the title of that little format that they had going on, or the conversation that they had going on, right? So it's Kirk Franklin. He's sitting with founder and CEO of Big Dave's Cheesesteaks, Derek Hayes. He's sitting with one of my favorite rappers from the early 2000s, Jeezy. And Kirk Franklin is also sitting and talking with playwright, movie director, movie producer, Tyler Perry, right? A guy that has a strong hold in the film industry, especially as it pertains to black media, black films, etc. So when Tyler Perry is talking, he's speaking about, his comeuppance in the business, and I believe he's talking about he's basically talking about I'm assuming like things that has happened to him since he came into his wealth, etc., and all of those things. And then he transitions into talking about Ryan Coogler. So Ryan Coogler is the director of Sinners, both of the Black Panther films, Creed, and also Fruitvale Station. Ryan Coogler did an amazing job with the movie Sinners. Sinners did outstanding for an original movie. Did outstanding numbers at the box office. Ryan Coogler has been getting praise for that film as well. But for those who don't know, Ryan Coogler struck a deal with Warner Brothers Studios where he gets, I believe, all ownership of the movie and all rights to the movie after about 25 years, which is outstanding. It's a rare deal. It's happened several times before with several directors, but it's not a thing that's just super, super common. Now, when he got this deal with Warner Brothers Studios, you had some individuals acting like Ryan Coogler doing this would be the end of the movie industry itself and the film industry itself and all of that, right? Then you had other folks really applauding Ryan for getting this deal done and being able to attain something, basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically being able to keep something eventually, get something back that he wrote and earn money from that so that his kids and his kids' kids can eat from it. Black folks, we was really happy for Ryan to secure that deal. So in the conversation that Tyler Perry is having with Kirk Franklin, he brings this deal up. He said, everybody talking about the Sinners deal that Ryan Coogler got. Everybody talking about Ryan Coogler and his Sinners, the deal he got with Sinners. And it's so amazing that he got this amazing deal with Sinners. And he was like, I reached out to him and I called him. And I told him what to say and how to go about presenting that deal to Warner Brothers. I told him what to say in order to what to ask for in order to get that deal done, in so many words, right? I'm paraphrasing, but what he said is right along the lines of that. I told him what to say in order to get that deal to be a thing, And then he ends it with that's what it's about, so on and so forth and all of that. But something about that didn't sit right with me. Because I'm like, Ryan seems like a genuine, humble, easygoing brother. And I would trust that at some point, if that was the case, Ryan would come out and say that at some point. And I would leave that up to Ryan to say. If I'm Tyler Perry, I would leave that up to Ryan to say, rather than me coming out trying to take credit for him getting that deal. Right? Because whether Tyler Perry spoke to him or not, he doesn't know if Ryan already knew how to go about getting that deal. Because he called Ryan, from what I understand, from what he said. Ryan didn't call him asking him the questions about it. He called Ryan telling him how to do this, that, and the third. And I don't know if Ryan already had the information or whatever. But anyway, even if he gave Ryan some information, I would trust that Ryan would eventually come out and say that Tyler Perry is the one that helped him with like verbiage as far as like how to go about asking for that type of deal. If that's the case, if Tyler Perry was the inspiration behind him getting that deal from Warner Brothers Studios, right? But to me, it seemed like Tyler Perry, he wanted to say, I'm the one that helped Ryan Coogler get that deal with Sinners. I'm the one that helped Ryan. I'm the reason why he got that deal. I'm the one that told him what to say. It was me, y'all. It was me. I'm the one that made it happen for that brother. That's how it came across to me. And so I sat and I thought to myself, I said, self, why would Tyler Perry go and say this? And then I thought to myself, after Sinners debuted at the theaters, and after everybody was talking about it, ranting and raving about it, and it was getting outstanding reviews, I saw people, in particular my people, black folks, saying, hey, Tyler Perry needs to get with Ryan Coogler. Maybe they can collaborate and Ryan can help him develop some of his stories better and develop some of his characters better and come up with better plots and certain things to some of the stories that he's trying to tell, right? Maybe him and Ryan can sit down and collaborate with each other and come together, and he can help Tyler with that, right? Then I saw people, because Ryan, he wrote this movie, but Ryan collaborates with a lot of other people to kind of like, as it pertains to shooting certain shots and getting certain things, like the visuals, etc. and all that. And people was like, yo, look at the spirit of collaboration that Ryan is all about. Maybe Tyler Perry can take notes from that. It was certain people saying that. Maybe Tyler Perry can take notes from that, because Tyler, he ain't got no writers or nothing no more. He fired everybody, and everything is written, directed, produced by Tyler Perry. And they're like, yo, maybe Tyler needs to do what Ryan has been doing and kind of collaborate and kind of bounce ideas off of other people as it pertains to shooting some of these shots, etc., that goes on in these shows. Because people have said that some of the things that happens in Tyler Perry's TV shows, the way it can be shot and how it is performed on camera, it can look a little crazy at times to people. I think Tyler Perry is active on social media, and he took those criticisms to heart. He like, y'all telling me I need to get with Ryan to develop better stories and develop better characters and develop better plots, etc. Well, I'm going to tell y'all this. Since y'all love Ryan so much and y'all love that deal he got, I'm the one that helped him figure out how to talk to the Warner Brothers Studios and get that deal done that he got. He sat down with me. You telling me I need to sit down with him? I'm the one that he could be sitting down with, because I can give him game, i.e. I helped him figure out what to say to present that deal to Warner Brothers. Take that, y'all. Take that. That's how it felt. Like he was really like, you know what? Since y'all ass keep talking about I need to learn something from Ryan, I'm going to tell you something that Ryan might have learned from me. Ha! That's how it felt. And I ain't like that. I didn't like that. And then I thought about this. Another angle. I thought to myself, self, could it be something else too? And I thought, and maybe this is a reach. When Sinners came out, Spike Lee, one of the best film directors of the modern era, not just black director, but one of the best film directors of the modern era. Yes, he's a black man telling black stories in beautiful fashion. For the most part, I love most of Spike Lee's films, right? But anyway, Spike was in love with Sinners. In love with it. He gave it so much praise, and he had so much admiration for the film and Ryan's storytelling, etc. And he went on Carmelo Anthony's podcast, Spike Lee, and talked about how much he loved the film and how everybody should go see it, and he loved what Ryan's doing. When Ryan later came on that same podcast, Carmelo Anthony's podcast, and Carmelo and co-host asked him, yo, did you see what Spike had to say? And Ryan was gushing, and he was like, yo, he was amazed that Spike really loved his work, because he looked up to Spike Lee growing up, right? And he gave a lot of praise and respect to Spike Lee, because Spike Lee directed one of his favorite films, Malcolm X, one of my favorite movies as well. I was named after Malcolm X after my father saw that movie with my mother, right? When she was pregnant, you know, she was pregnant with me, right? My father and her went to go see the movie, and he named me Malcolm after watching that movie together, right? But anyway, I think Tyler Perry say, hold on, wait a minute. You got all this admiration for Spike, but what about me? And I'm gonna tell you why Spike in particular. You see, when Tyler Perry first started getting his movies on screen, the Medea films, it was Spike Lee who provided pushback to Tyler Perry's filmmaking. It was Spike Lee who provided pushback to the characters of Medea and Joe and all of that. He called it buffoonery. Spike Lee called these characters buffoonery. Almost like he said another word, raccoon. It was like raccoon type stuff he said, he felt like, and buffoonery and like minstrel show type stuff. And Spike Lee was vocal about that. Him and Tyler had differences because of how he came out and was vocal about what he felt about Tyler's work being like buffoonery. You know, and eventually I think they reconciled and they, you know, patched it up. But I do feel like he like, damn, Spike loving on his boy's work and admiring it and singing his praises to the heavens. And Ryan is taking it all in and showing love back to Spike and giving Spike all his praise and admiration. And he's speaking of Spike glowingly. What about me? Spike didn't talk like that about me. That's what Tyler Perry probably feeling. What about me? Spike didn't speak like that about my work. And Ryan, you gushing over him. But I called you personally. And you know, I kind of presented something to you about what you could say to Warner Brothers Studios to get that deal. So what about me? You know what? Since y'all up in here playing buddy with this shit here, I'm gonna go ahead and tell everybody I called you personally. I called you up and I told you what to say to Warner Brothers to get a deal that you got, right? Because Tyler Perry, you know, he got the Tyler Perry Studios. So I think Tyler feels a way about those things. People praising Ryan and in the same breath denigrating his work. And I feel like he took that personal. But that has nothing to do with Ryan Coogler. That has nothing to do with Ryan. I hope I didn't say Ryan Garcia at any point in this video. Please not. I can't stand Ryan Garcia's ass. But, you know, Ryan Coogler. I think he looking like, you know what, man? They willing to praise Ryan and denigrate me. I got something for their ass. I'm going to tell them I called Ryan. I'm the one that called him. And I just think that ain't cool. Because that ain't got nothing to do with Ryan. Ryan is not a mean, vindictive. He doesn't seem like that type of spirit. I don't know the brother personally. But he doesn't seem like that type of spirit whenever I'm seeing him on camera. Whenever I'm just, you know, when you seeing him, he doesn't seem like he has that spirit about him. And I'm like, that ain't fair to Ryan to be acting like that because you mad at some people that have been speaking about your work. You mad at the people who, your critics, who praise Ryan and in the same breath downplay you, right? And I'm a man, I don't trash Tyler Perry on my channel. I really liked a lot of those early Tyler Perry films. You know, I don't trash him for dressing like a woman. Personally, would I do that? No, I would not dress like no woman and put on no dress. But I'm not going to trash him because growing up, I loved like the Clumps and Eddie Murphy was dressing like a woman in there. I loved Martin. He was dressing like a woman at Shanae, and he was dressing like a woman in Big Mama's house. Hell, Jamie Foxx. I love the Jamie Foxx show, but in Living Color, he was Wanda, right? So it's been a lot of works where I've enjoyed these comedians, and they dressed up as women as well. And I'm going to be hypocritical saying, oh, look at them wearing a dress. When I was laughing at Martin Lawrence, I was laughing at Eddie Murphy, I was laughing at Jamie Foxx when they did it. So I never give him flack for dressing like a woman and putting on a dress, even though I wouldn't do it. Hey, he trying to sell his comedy. In comedy, we've seen it done plenty of times, not even just with black men. We've seen it done with white men, etc. They put on dresses as well. We've seen Mrs. Doubtfire with Robin Williams, etc. But anyway, I never try to harp in on his sexuality and, oh, he needs to tell us he gay, or is he gay, or is he not gay? And I don't harp on that, rather. I don't go on about it. I let him do his thing, right? because I recognize, and even the movies that I don't like, and I haven't liked a lot of the recent Tyler Perry films. I have not liked them. I recognize that he's very groundbreaking in a lot of ways, from getting his own movie studios, Tyler Perry Studios, where other films have been shot and directed. For being a black man breaking into this industry, finding a niche, and carving out his own lane and making great money off of it. Him hiring new actors and actresses that we've never seen before. Him giving opportunities to to people that we used to see in the big screen quite often. They've disappeared and he's put them back on screen, etc. You know what I mean? So I don't denigrate him or berate him, because I believe he has been necessary. I think he has been necessary in certain ways, you know what I mean? For sure. And while what's the word I'm looking for? I don't necessarily always admire him for his artistic work all the time. I admire the fact that he puts a lot of black folks on and put them in position. And I did like a lot of the early movies and stuff. He had a lot of great early movies, man. Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Daddy's Little Girls, I Could Do Bad All By Myself, Medea's Family Reunion. He had a lot of really good movies at the beginning. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna say and act like everything he ever did was bad or whatever. But I do think that Tyler has a tendency to want credit for a lot of things as of lately, because I think he feel like he being disrespected. And also Tyler got he got some nice nasty in him. What is nice nasty? A person that says something very disrespectful or says something snarky in a nice tone. That's the shit that the elders do in the black church quite often, especially the elderly women. They know how to be nice nasty like a motherfucker. They will say some stuff to you and say some rude, disrespectful stuff in a semi-sweet tone. And Tyler, he got a lot of that up in him. A lot of that up in him. And he learned a lot of that shit probably from going to church. Even the way, and me, as a millennial, I'm 32 years old. And there are things that I don't like about the younger generation and all of that with the Gen Z and stuff. It's certain things I don't like about the younger generation. But I don't make it my business to every time I'm speaking on here in my everyday life to people to just trash them at every turn. Tyler Perry, one of them individuals, even in his works, his creative works, he got a soliloquy about Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry does a soliloquy talking about how you young folks don't know how to do this. You young folks don't know how to do that. You young folks ain't got no respect. You young folks this and that. You young folks ain't never did this. You young folks ain't never worked for nothing. You young folks need to do this. You young folks. He do that shit in his everyday life. It seeps out in acceptance speeches, in interviews, in podcasts. Let me just trash the young folks. You young folks don't do this. You young folks don't do that. You young folks don't do this. And I think he has a tendency to try. You ever seen a person who has affluence who wants to seem like they get affluence and they want their children to not enjoy the everyday luxuries of it in order to gain kudos from their audience or the people that's around them, in Tyler Perry's case, his audience, or to make it seem like, I'm making my kid work for everything and you got to work around here. He was like, my son only get books for Christmas. I don't buy all this, that, and the third. And he gets certain things, but you ain't paying no bills. You ain't got no job. So you ain't getting this, that, and the third, because you ain't got no job. You get a job, you can buy your own this and that and all that. All that shit that black folks used to do back in the day that's just silly as fuck. Stuff that, your mom, certain black families didn't want to buy kids luxury items or certain nice things because you ain't got no job to be getting it. Now I can see if you can't afford it, but in Tyler Perry's case, he can definitely afford luxury things for his son. He can't wait to tell everybody how his son don't get this and he don't get that because he a kid and his ass ain't got no job. I'm rich. You ain't got no money. And all that shit is why do some people have kids and feel like you gotta restrict them and strip them of luxury in order to raise them right. You know, you got to almost kind of resent them getting luxury things in order to raise them right. I know kids who experience luxury, who experience things in moderation and are good kids, who get luxury items and can still be raised to be mannerable, to be respectful and all of that. But that's the shit that Tyler probably learned in the black church. That little shit, that stuff right there. You ain't get nothing. You ain't, you young folks don't do this. You young folks don't do that. You young folks. Like, he does that a lot in all of his movies, where it's a whole nother lesson could be learned, and he can't wait to tell us, you young folks ain't this, you young folks ain't that. Whether it be respectability politics, or whether it be like, we ain't never done nothing in our lives, and we ain't never been through nothing, and it's like, yeah, and I see his nice nastiness within that. I'm sorry I went on a rant. And so that nice nastiness can be transferable not just to black youth, but also to black people who are in proximity to you, to black people who are your peers, your younger peers, or is it younger peers? No. Black people who are, what's the word I'm looking for? Not contemporaries. What's the word I'm looking for? Black people who are like in your same field or industry, right? The younger black folks in your industry, you still want to talk down to them and chastise them and big brother them when they're not, and when it's in a situation where you don't have to, not big brother them, but son them. That's the word I'm looking for. You want to son them, to show them I'm still top dog, to keep them indebted to you in certain ways. And it kind of can come off like that, because it kind of feel like, bro, let Ryan Coogler tell us that you helped him with that. Why do you have to make it your business to tell us I'm the one who helped him do this, that, and the third? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like T.K. Kirkland. I was the one who was there when this happened and that, because T.K. Kirkland was around at every event. But props to T.K. Kirkland, you know what I mean? Because everybody confirms that T.K. Kirkland was there at these stories that he's telling. You know what I mean? They confirm he was there. So I got to give it to T.K. Kirkland. He a lot of stuff he talking about, he ain't lying, because people always confirm he was there a lot of times, right? But yeah, man, I don't like the nice nastiness that was coming out of that was coming out of Tyler Perry in that Den of Kings podcast or interview. He couldn't wait to tell us I'm the one that helped Ryan do that and get that deal, because he was upset at how black people were saying that he needed to get with Ryan to help him write some of his shows and movies, etc. He felt the way about that because Tyler is active on social media. You know what I mean? And I just felt like that was distasteful. I felt like that was a little tacky. There was some hateration, holleration in this dancery. And there was no need for that, man. It was no need for that. And I'm sure Ryan is a good enough person. I think he's going to corroborate that story. Even if it didn't even happen like that, to keep the camaraderie there and visible with them. Because Ryan does not seem like a person that want to start shit and want to be like, man, it ain't happened like that, yada, yada, yada. He seems like a very peaceful brother. And I'm sure he's going to confirm that and give props to Tyler Perry, even if it didn't even play out like that. Just so he doesn't have any friction between black men and the movie industry and black directors. But I just thought it was very distasteful. And I'm like, Tyler gotta do better than that. That's funny style. Cut it out, Tyler. That ain't called for. Just tell a young brother congratulations and go on about your way. Peace.